part 2. So this is what we're gonna do. Create names, voting districts, schools, and actually I'm gonna use some nice color so that we can all see schools. Maybe make it 10. And also one of the things that you're supposed to do is actually label the voting districts. So when you actually label the voting districts, you have to label it. Let's see, go to properties, go to labels, make sure that is set to name, and reduce the size and maybe use a different color like green or something, and go to symbol and properties, and the routine, right? And click OK, and OK. And once that is done, actually you need to make sure that you set your scale range for this as 1:100,000. So you don't want to see these labels when you are out beyond 1:100,000. So once you are done, let's see how the map looks like right now. Yeah, which looks pretty good. So we'll zoom into something and actually change this color to something a little less gray, and label your voters into number of voters, and now actually we need to create a small page layout sort of a thing, in which we'll zoom to 1:24,000 and add some add a legend, and also add a title and north arrow and other usual map elements. So I'm gonna add a source, and also I'm gonna add a legend, right? Usually. If you want, we can zoom a little more or less and play with the fonts and whatnot, but I'm gonna insert a legend. I'm gonna insert schools, voting districts, and number of voters. Click on next, go to the defaults. You see the vote, but this is not very visible, so what I'm gonna do is go to frame and add a border, and also add a background of white, and set the buffer to 4 points on all sides, so you can see them quite clearly. And the next step is to actually label the streets. So right click and label the streets, and also go to properties, go to placement properties, placement on the line, and click on italic and reduce the size to maybe 6, and go to symbol and properties and add a mask, of course, and reduce the color and click OK. And this is what I would actually recommend you guys doing, is zooming in around something a little more clear to see sort of a thing, so that we can see all the schools, all the elements. I'm gonna increase the label size of the voting districts to maybe 8. and I'm gonna save this map, of course, save this into my C drive under GIS Tutorial Answers Assignment 5, Assignment 5.1, and also export this map into actually a JPEG and stick it into a Word document and start suggesting why schools have to be used as polling places in some voting districts, because they have probably more voters and you don't have enough polling places or something like that. It's up to your imagination. And I'm gonna export this as a JPEG, and that's it. Okay, thank you.